The current problems faced by millions of leaseholders in England and Wales are: rising ground rents. Leaseholders have to pay a yearly fee to the freeholder, which can increase over time and make the property unaffordable or unsellable. Some leaseholders have been trapped in contracts with doubling ground rents every 10 or 15 years. Unfair fees. Leaseholders have to pay service charges for the maintenance of the common areas of the building, but they often have no say in how much they are charged or what services are provided. Some freeholders and property management firms have been accused of overcharging leaseholders for poor quality work or unnecessary repairs. Poor maintenance. Leaseholders have to rely on the freeholder or the property management firm to keep the building safe and in good condition, but they may face delays, negligence or incompetence. Many leaseholders have faced crippling bills and been unable to sell their properties after buying leasehold flats that the freeholders refuse to make safe. For example, some leaseholders have been stuck with unsafe cladding after the Grenfell Tower fire and have to pay for fire safety measures themselves. Lack of control. Leaseholders have limited rights and powers to challenge the freeholder or the property management firm if they are unhappy with their service or fees. They can apply to a tribunal in England or the leasehold valuation tribunals in Wales, but they have to send a Section 22 notice to the landlord first, which gives them a chance to fix the problems. They can also try to exercise their right to manage, which allows them to take over the management of the building, but they have to meet certain criteria and follow a complex process. These problems have led many leaseholders to call for an end to the leasehold system, which has been described as feudal and outdated by critics. The government has promised some reforms, such as capping ground rents and banning unfair fees, but has dropped its plans to abolish leaseholds altogether. Labour has pledged to end leaseholds in a phased way and to clamp down on the property management sector. Labour has a bold vision to end the rip-off of leaseholders by property management firms that exploit tenants with unfair charges and restrictions. In contrast, the government has failed to deliver on its promises to reform the leasehold system and protect leaseholders from being trapped in a feudal system of ownership. Labour's proposals include: banning the sale of new leasehold houses and flats by the end of its first term in office, making all new homes freehold by default. Giving existing leaseholders the right to buy their freehold for 1% of the property value, which could save them thousands of pounds in fees and legal costs. Capping ground rents for existing leaseholders at 0.1% of the property value, up to a maximum of £250 a year, and abolishing them for new leaseholds. Banning property management firms that rip off leaseholders with excessive service charges, hidden costs and poor maintenance. Labour would introduce a new regulator to enforce minimum standards and a code of conduct for these firms. Giving leaseholders more power and control over their homes, by making it easier for them to challenge unfair terms and conditions, switch providers, and set up residents' associations. These measures would end the scandal of leasehold ownership that affects millions of households in England and Wales. Labour would ensure that homeowners have security, affordability, and dignity in their homes. The government, on the other hand, has only offered vague and weak proposals that do not address the root causes of the problem. Despite promising to end the feudal leasehold system and reduce ground rents to peppercorn rates, the government has not introduced any legislation or concrete plans to do so. The government has also failed to tackle the issue of cladding and fire safety, which has left many leaseholders facing huge bills and unable to sell their flats. Labour is the only party that has a comprehensive and radical plan to end the rip-off of leaseholders by property management firms. Labour would deliver a leasehold revolution that would transform the housing market and empower homeowners. The government's lack of action on this issue shows that it does not care about the millions of people who are suffering under the current system.